thought is so powerful. Did you know you can change it? You decide it's your call. Visions of you and I in a brand new world I see, where woman and man go free.
It's 10 minutes past 12 o'clock, midday, and the midday sun is out. It's nice and sunny outside. It's the 6th of June. New Sound Radio Community Hour. Absolutely fantastic day. It's going to be started well and is going well and is going to end well as well. So that's the way to be. Be positive about everything what you tackle today, because it's Friday and it's Eid as well. So everyone celebrating Eid today. Happy Eid to them, and make the most of it, because it's the big celebrations going outside. The people are walking all over the place and they are driving everywhere. There's a crazy atmosphere out in Ilford at the moment, and you can see the streets are buzzing. And we've got our guests in the studio, and we say good morning. Always say good morning, good afternoon to them. Shahid, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Happy to you. How are you?
I'm fine. So first of all, obviously, Sat Sri Akal, good afternoon, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, and Eid Mubarak to every single human being on the planet.
Yep. That's all, trillion of them. Yeah. Even the ones which are hiding somewhere in the jungle or somewhere, wherever, even to them, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good celebrations. It's good to celebrate festivals. And I see today we've got some fantastic guests with us. So we've got Mark from London Borough of Newham, who's joined us. And thank you very much, Mark, for coming in. And welcome to New Sound Radio.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and just a chance for me to say happy Eid to everybody as well.
Thank you very much. And Mark, tell us a little bit about your background. What do you do in Newham?
So my background is I'm a social worker by profession, and I work in the London Borough of Newham now as the service manager for neighbourhood and long-term services for older people and people with a disability. Right. So that's a specific service for that group of people who have needs that the local authority have a responsibility to help meet.
Excellent. That's really good. Is it challenging? Do you love it? Is it passionate? And
absolutely. It's a job I've done for a long time as a social worker, and very passionate about social work, and very passionate about making sure that we promote a very positive image of the profession as well, because I feel sometimes we get a bit of a raw press, despite all of the hard work that goes on.
No, you do actually. Yeah, the people do. People don't see the background work that goes into social care. It is important that Would you say that a person who goes into this sort of profession, do you think you were created into it, or how can I say the wording? You want to get it right. Were you made for it? Did you passionately think, this is the service I want to go into, this is what I want to do?
I'd like to think I was made perfectly for it, but I'm not always sure that's the case. But no, it was. It's just been something that I grew up with. I think it's that sense of public service and duty as well that we had within my family, and a satisfaction that I get myself, which is selfish in that sense, but of being able to support and help people. It's not always as straightforward when you start to work for a local authority and council in that regard, but that's always my underlying motivation, and that's where my values come from.
Plus, I mean, like you said, if the family atmosphere is like that, then you tend to go towards that, like especially in the Asian families, they're doctors or whatever they are, whoever they are, like the profession the parents are in, the kids are pushed into that. But nowadays things are changing. There are a lot of people who go into personal care, social care, and they do a lot of work for the community. Things are changing. The demographics changing, how people choose their profession. Would you see that? Do you
Absolutely.
See that?
I think
for the youngsters especially.
Yeah, and I think also
you're a youngster.
That's incredibly kind of you. I'll definitely come back. I'm 60 in July, so
is that all?
60 years young. But I agree, and I think there's also a huge need for people in the caring professions, social work. And also as carers in the community, because we have a growing population, and a growing number of that population are ageing, and an increasing number of people are living successfully and well, which is a good news story, with disabilities.
Lifespan has gone bigger and longer. As to say, that definitely is the case as well. And also, like, the youngsters, they see. Would you say that not just the youngsters, but since COVID, do you think the atmosphere, the situation has changed amongst a lot of people and a lot of families as well?
I think that was absolutely huge in terms of both we all know about the economic impact, because that was well publicised. I think less talked about really now, actually, after, is the sort of emotional and psychological impact on people, and particularly in regards to social care, having worked through COVID in Newham, actually, through that very difficult time. I think people withdrew, and I think that meant people also withdrew from asking for support, because there was a fear of the disease. And I would share, but very sadly, my father died of it 2 weeks into the first lockdown. So it was a very personal pandemic in that sense. But I also experienced that through work, and the impact that had on people, and the concern that people were suppressing need because of the fear, of the disease. So absolutely.
No, it does. It did affect a lot of people. We didn't expect it to be like that, but it's the first. I hope it's the last pandemic that happened in our lifetimes, anyway.
Absolutely.
But it did impact a lot. We were based in Newham, and and we saw the impact and how that happened with us as well. It affected us, but we had to, because we were providing a service just like yourselves. We had to set up studios at home to talk to people so they could get in touch with us. So communication was very important. And same goes with your profession. How important is communicating with the individuals and people who need your service?
Well, it's absolutely fundamental. So I would say that there's two elements to that, actually, that question, in terms of the answer that I need to give. One is about the individual relationship, and very much the essential importance of that communication between a social worker with the individual with whom they're working. That hopefully goes without saying. But another side to that is also the councils and the social services responsibility to be communicating more widely with the population at large, to make sure that there's publicity about what people's rights may be, what services are available, and to do what we're doing today, really talk about how people might access, support, and particularly, as I know today, we're talking about carers. So I think there's that wider responsibility there for more general communication. So I hope that makes sense. There's that.
No, it does. When you do see services such as yours, what it does affect a lot of the families. It does. Not just the carer, the person you're looking after, but the persons around the person who's being looked after. They feel better as well, because when the good service is provided, the communication between the individual and the carer and the family, it's very, very important that they know exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. There's an approach within social work, and within Newham we've got our own practice framework about how we practice, how we work as social services, and it's referred to as a strength-based model. And what that means in reality, in practice, is that when you're talking to somebody, part of that work is exploring with the person their own strengths, which sometimes they forget and lose, but also thinking about that wider informal network as well. Before one starts talking about direct service, because that's not always what people want, is strangers coming in, but it's about helping people explore those informal networks of support, like you say. It could be family, friends, the community resources and support that's available. So part of the job is acting as a conduit, an advisor, to make sure that you're helping people discover, more about themselves and what's also available in their community.
Because a lot of the time when people who are looking for carers, who are in need of a care, they don't know how to go about approaching someone or look for someone. Because there are a lot of private companies who will jump on the bandwagon straight away and say, oh, we can do that, but this is how much it's going to cost you. Absolutely. With your services, how does that work?
So I think the key thing, really, I suppose, that's a very broad question. I think for the audience today, and just trying to be as helpful as I can in that regard, I think there'll be a lot of people out there who provide, and again, I'm thinking about carers who have people that they need to help and support.
Yeah.
And they may not see themselves as carers.
Yeah.
So there is this day-to-day definition that we all have, a sort of, if you like, a community definition of caring. So we know that means, I think we'd all think, well, that means you help look after somebody, you know, you care for somebody, but that, you know, it could be a partner, a child, a parent. But there's also a more formal definition of a carer,
right,
which comes, it's contained within a piece of legislation. I don't want to go into like real detail about that, but there's a piece of legislation called the Care Act.
Right.
2014 was that the date of that, and within that there's also a definition of a carer, which is used by local authorities to actually identify the people that they have a responsibility to also assess and talk to about what support might be available. And that definition is people of is somebody who provides unpaid support ordinarily to a friend or family member who needs regular help due to their physical or mental illness or disability. So that's the, if you like, that's not the legal definition. I've tried to summarise it, but that really sort of captures it. And so if there's people listening who feel that that applies to them, then what they need to do is talk to their local authority. I mean, I work in Newham, and I know that, you know, but the station has a much wider audience than that, so it's not you need to look at where your local authority is, and have that discussion with social services. They should also have lots of information about this on websites, so if you go to for those people able to go to their local authority's website, to social services, there should be a section dedicated, there will be a section dedicated to carers, where they can find more information out about what I've just said if they wish to.
So can they register on the website as well if they go to Newham Council website? Yeah,
you can make a self-referral, but what you can also do is make through that website, you can also get access to the telephone numbers that will enable you to have a conversation initially as well. And if there's difficulties with that, then what we would always look at as well is making sure that we have an ability to meet with people later to provide interpreters, so that we can actually have that, you know, a meaningful conversation with the person themselves about what their needs are.
And that's in any language as well, is it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we're using AI more now as well, so we're using all sorts of you know, the new magical ways of communicating to make sure that we can do that. But that does enable it to be a lot quicker. And I won't lie, also more cost effective for a local authority, it's a real, it's a sort of democratization of that, you know, that ability to communicate across different cultures and languges through AI.
Exactly what the other person's asking for.
Absolutely.
AI doesn't lie, not yet.
no. So you can hear the person. So I mean, my advice therefore is that anybody who thinks that, you know, what we were just talking about again in terms of carers applies to them, is to contact their local authority and have that discussion. But look at the website, get the numbers, reach out and have that discussion, and they can talk through. They'll talk through what somebody's doing, sort of understand what's happening, because it could also be that there's a responsibility to help, or a need to go out and assess the person they're caring for. You know, so
that's quite important. I mean, what we find from our own experience, obviously my wife is a carer, but she's a formal carer, so she's in the community. But what we find is lots of people who are probably listening, they are carers. One of the things they always, I mean, we sort of mentioned it in the beginning, is this taboo, almost like, oh, social workers, you know, how are we, because social workers in the past, they've lacked, from our own experience, is that cultural competency and maybe the linguistic competency. And you kindly talked about, you know, having the AI, but the cultural competency is quite important, because what used to happen, what would be viewed from a Eurocentric point of view. So you're looking at something that you believe this is fine, or this is happening, but when different communities, when they're faced with this, they can't actually explain. So are we getting more people in the services who are from those communities?
I mean, in Newham, yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm very proud of the fact that our service very much reflects the local community in terms of the ethnic backgrounds of the staff. And I totally agree with you, and I think it's an area that we are focusing on very much at the moment. Oddly enough, that's not just saying that in response to, but also a real focus on cultural competency in practice. And I think one of the key things for all of us to understand with that is that fundamentally it's about making sure you spend time to understand the individual, and because culture is something that we all have, but they are different. But it's about making sure you spend time to understand what's important to that person, and from that you then start to build that picture of their culture, and what's important to them. But that's very much, I'm pleased to say, that's something upon which we're...
No, that's fantastic, and that's why I think we're here today, trying to, let's see, look at other avenues, and the radio station is fantastic for that, Tari, because it gives it that opportunity to reach out to those communities. And you're absolutely right, Mark, it's about listening to those communities. Each community, every single person I've ever met is different.
Completely.
It doesn't matter what community they're from. They're all different, so
everyone's all have individual backgrounds, that's
including us.
That's what we call this, a community hour. Everyone's sort of mixed in and bungled in and bunked in, and everything is all mixed up for the community. It is a service that's needed. So Mark, just to round up everything, please explain how you help and where they can get in touch with you if they need to.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to provide some details later for your website, so there's some links and stuff there. I haven't brought any numbers with me, I'm very embarrassed to say, but I can make sure my colleagues who are coming in shortly can provide that for you. But the way that we help people is that we are, as a local authority, responsible for providing support for people with what's termed eligible social care needs under the Care Act. As I said, that's what we have. That's what we are made to apply. We have a duty under that Act to meet needs of people who meet that criteria. So what people can do is, first, what I would encourage everyone to do who feels that what we've been talking about today may apply to them, is to reach out to the local authority, to make contact, to look at the website, look at the various ways in which they can make contact with the authority, and start having that initial conversation about their circumstances. And from that point on, like we've said, every situation, every person's going to be very different, so I can't give a standard answer. But what I can say is that they will listen to the person and consider very much whether they meet the criteria for sort of onward assessment by the service, really. And they also provide, of course, within that, they will provide a great deal of advice and signposting as well to organisations that we work very closely with to support people who are cared for and also carers. And I think in a little while you'll be talking to one of my colleagues who work for the Newham Carers Community, who's one of those key organisations that we often signpost people to and refer people to, particularly carers, of course.
Brilliant. Mark, thank you very much for taking time out and coming to New Sound Radio. No doubt you will be back again.
I hope so. It's been a lovely experience. It's lovely to meet you both.
It is. No, thank you very much for that. And we'll have a short commercial break, and then we've got another member of the community coming up right after this break.
Thank you.
Are you struggling with a family member and cannot provide the care and help they need? At Caring Hands, we can help you look after your family member with the best support and care they need 24 hours a day. Our services range from cooking, cleaning, services like personal care, dementia care, learning and disability care, end-of-life care, palliative care in your own home. Caring Hands East London have been established since 2017 and are registered with the CQC. We provide personal service right across Ilford and East London. For further details and inquiries, please call Caring Hands East London Limited on 0208 478 0525. Caring Hands East London Limited, Imperial House, 41 York Road, Ilford, IG1 3AD. Telephone 0208 478 0525.
Power Roofing Limited नए रूफ्स ते रिपेयर ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ GRP waterproofing, slate roofs, felt roofs, UPVC fascias, lead work ਤੇ complete waterproofing with specialist staff. Established experienced roofers, Power Roofing, lofts ਤੇ extension ਦਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. Appointment book ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਹੁਣੇ ਹੀ call ਕਰੋ 07730798029. That is 07730798029. या call करो 0207998686. Power Roofing full insured है ते अपने काम दी गारंटी भी देंदे ने. Power Roofing council तो approved है.
Chigwell Window Centre. We specialise in UPVC and aluminium windows, doors, patios, composite doors, heritage doors, bipoles and slim bipoles. For all inquiries, call Chigwell Window Centre 0208 500 4900. Huge discounts available. Special offer on bipole doors. Supply and fit for only £900 per pan. Terms and conditions apply. Visit one of our showrooms. Romford, 9 to 11 Chase Cross Road, Collier Road, Romford, RM5 3PJ. Loughton, 305 to 307 High Road, Loughton, IG10 1AH. Epsom, 1 Castle Parade, Eel Bypass, Epsom, KT17 2PR. Colchester, Centurion Business Park, CO11 2NZ. For Brentwood, 4B Mescals Lane, Brentwood, Essex, CM14 5LR. Chigwell Window Centre.
It's 12:31 and we've got Simon in the hot seat now, and we thank Mark once again. Simon is from AKG in East London. Good afternoon, Simon. How are you?
So I'm from AGK East London, and I'm here to talk about the Newham Carers Community Project. I work as a service manager for community projects across several boroughs in East London.
Yeah, go for it.
And,
don't stop there. Okay. Carry on.
No problems. So our Newham Carers Community Services supports unpaid carers in Newham, with a variety of support options that include individual carer support. So we can work with them on a one-to-one basis, either face-to-face, on via the phone or online, to support them with their needs and develop a tailored plan of support.
Okay.
We also provide practical support, such as helping them to fill in forms online or on paper. We can provide them with access to information, advice and guidance for their caring needs. And also training, online training and in-person training.
So, I mean, how do people get in touch with you? Do they get referred to you, or?
Yeah, there's many ways they can access the support from NCC. They can either contact us through our email, which is info@newhamcarerscommunity.org.uk, or they can call us on 020 39 543 143.
Right, excellent. So how long have you been in the profession? How are you finding it?
I've been with AGK East London about 5 years, and it's every day is a different day. We're constantly, as people know that work in charity sector, the new projects come and new projects or projects go, and we get new funding. But the Newham Carers Community has been running since May 2023, and we're into our third year now. And to date, we've supported over 2,000 adult carers and around 300 young carers in Newham.
So you find it exciting and challenging, and like you said, no day is the same. So are you hands-on with all the projects? Are you involved?
As much as I can with this project and the other projects I sort of look after, but we've got a good team. The NCC project is in partnership with two other organisations in Newham, and they are the Renewal Programme and Subco Trust. And the Subco Trust have the Renewal Programme support with the young carers specifically, and Subco Trust support with carers from the Southeast Asian community as they can sort of have their staff have multilinguist staff there to help with that.
Oh, excellent! That's really, really good. So this covers in Newham, but do you work alongside with the other organisations in other boroughs as well?
We do have connections with the Carers Service, so we work with Imago in the City Square Mile of London, and we also work with City and Hackney carers who are in Hackney, and we have previously worked with Carers Centre Tower Hamlets as well.
Oh, excellent! That's really, really good. It's good to know now because, like we were saying, speaking about it earlier, like since COVID, a lot of this service, your service, what you're providing, is in big demand. I mean, do you find it that it's increased tenfold,
I think it's highlighted a lot of sort of inequalities in society, and especially relating to older people, carers, people that have been digitally excluded and economically excluded. In terms of more apparent now is there's been an increase in the need for support with cost of living, and that entails a lot of information, advice and guidance from advisors that we have. It's just highlighted a lot of different kinds of needs that some things haven't been forgotten about.
Understandable. The other thing is that when we look at carers, particularly who are in the community, one of the things that we find is that first of all, caring is a 24/7 job, and it's really, really important. But do you provide any support for after the care? I'll give you an example. A number of people will come to us as Blossom, and they will say, "I used to be a carer. My partner, father, mother, whoever they were caring for, has passed away.
Yes.
And now I've realised I've missed like 20 years of my life. I can't do the digital skills. I don't understand the benefit system. I don't understand all these other things. I've missed out on my education." So are you able to help that particular individual after they've gone through the world of caring?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, former carers, we still support them and treat them as carers still. They have peer groups that they can have access for support with other carers or other former carers. They still can access the various forms of support, and we also signpost and refer on to either internal services where they may be able to get help with whether it's social, physical activities, digital support, but also the local network of support services that are available, and that may be things like counselling, mental health support, so all things that are relative for former carers to access.
No, that's incredible, and that is very, very important, because often we find that's the missing link. Because obviously, if we don't provide that particular support, then you're left with people who have been the carers, but then unfortunately they might end up requiring the care.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about prevention of that, and a lot of carers, they kind of once they're cared for, a person has maybe passed, that they've lost their sort of identity and their sense of purpose, and it's important to have that support network to get them back to accessing social sort of connections and their own personal needs.
And that's fantastic to know. The other thing, obviously, you mentioned earlier regard to the languages and the support that you provide, particularly in their own language. We work with Subco, so we have good experience of Subco as well. Fantastic organisation, currently based in Stratford. So they're doing some grand work there.
Yep.
But do you think, from your own experience, and because you've been working in this sector, what is the problems? What's the issues, and where are we going wrong?
Well, I think it's one of the main problems is people just don't consider themselves as carers, or they're not aware that, you know, they are looking after a friend or a relative or loved one, and they're almost too proud to admit they are a carer. They don't understand that, you know, if you're helping someone shopping or cooking for them and doing daily tasks, like even a young person coming home from school and helping feed their siblings or help them dress, you know, they are caring, and there's a lot of support that you know, we can help identify for them, and yeah, there's no sort of stigma attached to being a carer, I think, still.
Yeah, one of the things that we experience. I'll give you a good example. We had recently, I was speaking to a gentleman, and he said, a lady will call you, and can you speak to her? So I spoke to her, and she was 56 years of age, and she basically explained to me that her mother was 81, who was caring for her 2 children who were in their 50s.
Right.
Wow. Okay, but they both had autism.
I see.
And she was bathing them, she was looking after them.
Yes.
The problem she had was that she couldn't actually talk to anyone else, because she felt no one else could provide the support as a mother.
I see.
Who could provide that support, and it was almost like it was obligatory on her to look after the children. And she didn't even say to her 56-year-old daughter, please play a part in their life. Unfortunately, when she lost her husband, it made it more difficult, because then he was the one who would bathe them, but she was actually bathing these children of hers who were 56.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess she must have sensed, you know, sort of saw that as a sort of sense of duty and stuff. But I mean, the impacts of having to do that at 81, and you know, the sort of the mental sort of anxiety and stress that could put on, you know, could just cause further sort of problems. You know, if she fell ill, and who would be doing it then? You know, she wouldn't be able to do it. So that's why, you know, they can get a carer's assessment through the council, and then a tailored sort of plan of support can be put in place to not take over the caring role, but obviously just support them to help alleviate that sort of pressure and the sort of the responsibilities of having to do that at that age as well. Yeah.
That is so important. And why I mentioned that story is a number of people do think of it as a sense of duty.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they let themselves go. What I mean by that is they actually put their health and their
at risk,
at risk, and sometimes that's a very, very difficult thing to do. But people don't realise.
No, they don't, and I think it's difficult because they are just focused on that caring responsibility, and they obviously just want to do, you know, help their loved one.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. That, you know, you're made into that profession. Your mindset is that
yes.
you want to do. You want to be a carer. You're fulfilling your dream in a way. You know, you just forget everything around you. You're just looking after individuals, like caring for them as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think when you're in that role, it is hard to sort of seek help, and it's hard to know what help if there is. But that's where we can help with that. If they contact us, we can then definitely, you know, look at what they need help in and tailor it to them personally.
Oh, brilliant. So do you think Hitesh could give us a bit more background on that if we bring him in?
Yeah,
he's sitting there quietly listening away. Hi, good afternoon, Hitesh. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well. And yourself? How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Welcome to New Sound Radio, and thank you for taking time out and sharing this experience with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I generally care for my 84-year young mum who's going through chronic kidney disease, stage 5. She's got dementia, and last year she had a hip operation and fractured 5 of her ribs. So her mobility is not the same as it used to be, but she's on the mend. Yeah.
Well, at that age, I mean, she's had a good life, and she's in good hands. So we can only do as much as we can. We went through the similar sort of situation. So, how do you cope? What do you do?
I've put systems and processes in place for myself, because I got to a point in the first 18 months when I was starting the caring. My dad passed away about 11 years ago now.
Right.
And the first 18 months was a nightmare for me. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where to find any information.
Yeah.
I got burnt out and now my mission and goal is to help family carers avoid burnout, create a more balanced lifestyle, achieving more and doing less, using my coaching strategies and processes to help create their unique caring system using AI technology. I always like to give back, so I've also created some resources for listeners. I can share them now, or I can share them later. It's up to you.
Do it as we speak. Just fire away.
Okay, so like they can head over to hiteshaudio.com/resources, and there's some free downloads that they can download PDFs to help them if they have any challenges. There are like 5 questions that I put together. They just go through those 5 questions, and it will help them get through any problem that they're facing as carers. So there's lots of free resources that they can down. And if they scroll down to the bottom of that page, there's all my social media links on there that they can click and connect with me on any of the social media platforms as well.
These services are free as well,
They are free,
So how did you? I mean, I know you said you found it really, really challenging. How easy was it to find information? How you can help people around with the social services and everything else which they needed to sort of provide for an individual which they're looking after?
So do you mean like when I first started caring? Okay. When I first started caring,
because we want to share your experience, because you went through all of that. You know, and there are a lot of people who are still going through it without realizing that help is available there. You know?
I mean, when I first started, I hadn't a clue, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know where to look for information. I know you've got Uncle Google there that you can put information in and find links. But over the years, I've sort of refined it more and more. And with the use of AI technology, you can pinpoint exactly. You're like having a conversation with someone, but it's actual the AI that's helping you find all that information very fast. And you know, over the years, I've worked with Carers UK. That's a good resource to find information on. And there's lots of more organisations out there that I find that as you put information in, one link leads to another, and you go down this rabbit hole, and you could sit there for hours reading information and finding things. You've also got your local councils now that have started putting carers information together. I've subscribed to Newham Council's carers community newsletter, and if I didn't have that come into my inbox, I wouldn't know about half of these events.
I was just going to say that is a physical, because a lot of people are still not savvy with the internet or using AI. So they're still a bit worried. If I ask this question, he might start having a go at me. Say, "What are you asking? Why are you looking at me?" So they sort of serve it physically. So can individuals walk into like an office or a building where they can find information, where they can be helped?
As far as I know, I haven't gone into a building to find a pamphlet or leaflet. I've always done it through the computer.
You had the leaflet delivered to you.
Well, basically,
in the beginning,
it comes straight into your inbox, I suppose, as a digital form. I think
that's sort of a leaflet. No, I thought physically through your letterbox.
No, I haven't actually seen anything to do with carers.
Do you think that's needed?
I think there's different generations of carers.
That's what I mean. Not for that.
And I think people that are not technical savvy, then a leaflet coming through or magazine coming through the letterbox, it's got information, website, phone numbers, links, and things like that. I think is very valuable to produce that.
I know Newham's got a magazine as well, Newham magazine, which used to come out, and then that was delivered everywhere to all the houses with all the information in there. I don't know if it still happens.
I haven't seen it for a long time, to be honest with you.
So, Mark, maybe that's needs to come back.
I was just having a.
No, definitely. Maybe that.
I was just making note of those issues that you were raising, and as I was explaining when we were talking, I'm an operational team service manager, so it's managing the teams that go out and do the assessments. Very much the communications sort of approach is something that I'm really taking. I'm taking back from here, and if I'm just letting you know, I'm busily taking notes about all of those because we have a carers strategy for Newham. So just to in recognition of what Hitesh was saying and the importance of carers, we have a carer strategy that involves all elements of the council. So it's looking at all the various parts that need to be involved.
Right.
And I'm part of the operational group, so that's about how we respond to those people who need an assessment, as it were. It's very clear, like that sort of, if you like, that statutory duty.
Right.
But that wider duty of communication and how we do that is something I'm going to take back to my colleagues in our commissioning and transformation teams to make sure we think about how we're reaching out to the community.
Excellent. I mean, you get the radio, you get the TV, but something physical that comes through the letterbox, middle of the night, they can just pick it up and read it. Oh, I need this, you know.
I think we all get complacent now, don't we? Because we think everybody's online and everybody's electronic.
Oh, you know, I was shocked that so many people still don't have internet in their house. They just have a telephone. Yes. They don't even have a mobile phone, you know, especially the elderly.
We find that a lot because, you know, we deal with the elderly a lot.
Yeah.
So they'll have a phone and you say, oh, did you attend that particular session? It was on WhatsApp or whatever. And they'll pull out what used to be known as a 6610, you know, the magic of all phones. And you look at it and you're thinking, oh my God, okay, what's happened here? But it's very difficult. The other problem, which we face a lot, and Tari knows this, you will probably know this, is a large majority of our communities, particularly South Asian communities, they can't read their own language. So when we look at sending out leaflets, that's an issue, because if we then equate that to how many people who can read the English language would actually look at a leaflet, probably not many. And then if we dissect that and say 30%, you're going to find that quite difficult. So our communities are on radio, which is quite important. They're on TikTok. So we need to look at TikTok as an avenue.
I don't know, social media plays a big part nowadays.
Of course.
It does play a bigger part than a leaflet or any individual. You know, from our studio now, I see kids standing outside Ilford Station and actually making TikTok videos. And then you see them online and say, oh, that's what they were doing.
It's everywhere, isn't it?
It's happening all over the place, you know.
One thing, may I, just on that point as well, is I'm just to point out as well that next week is National Carers Week in recognition of carers as well. And they have themes every year. And this year is about inequality. I've forgotten how it's worded, but actually it's a focus on the inequalities in caring. And there's obviously there's something in there as well about what you were saying about the impact of poverty as well, and people's access to the equipment that we're talking about, you know, in terms of electronic devices, etc., that enable that as well. So, but again, my point of saying that was that there's a recognition and focus from Carers UK, which is reflected in sort of local carer strategies as a theme that we need to look at, and that's the reason for these weeks. They publicise those issues. So I just wanted to make note of that.
No, it is.
I'd just like to add on to that as well. Is a lot of carers are not aware of these events that are happening, and if it's been marketed on social media, because that's the way most people communicate these days. They'll see the advert and then they'll forward it on to whoever needs to see it. So even if the older generation that are not internet savvy, there'll be a carer looking after them, and so they will be able to pick that up and then say to their mum or dad, oh look, there's this event happening, do you want to go? And they could easily just take them there and to the event. So it's a lot. I think it's a lot to do with the marketing side of things.
It is, It's like it's information and knowledge, and youngsters do help elderly people as well. If they can't read, like Shahid was saying, that they are good children out there who do help their grandparents and say, hey, this is what it says on here, this is what it is. So they do get help from within the family.
Only sometimes.
But majority of the grandparents, I've seen them, what is this? Read it to me. What does it say? You know, I've seen that happening. So it does happen. It does, you know, but there are ups and downs in families, but they do have, like nowadays, I think a lot of people do talk to each other and share information. Like you said, you know, it's important to share, and it's important to talk to people, because that's the only way you find out, you know, more so than anything else. Is the chatting, which has become more of a norm in the park. You see people talking, sitting there chatting away at the stations, in the shopping centres. There's gatherings of elderly people in the Exchange in Ilford. You get about 20 people every day who sit there, and slowly they became like a part of a poetry club. I didn't know that. I was just talking. I said, what do you do here every day? What do you talk about? Oh, we write poems.
That's beautiful.
You know, so they're looking after each other. Then I thought that's fantastic. So we've started a program every Thursday at 1:00. They send their poems in and we play them. You know, again, it's all about connecting and communicating and helping in any way possible where you can. It doesn't cost a lot, you know. And the carers are people who I think at the end of it are doing a fantastic job. You know, this service is a very, very important. It's like having a teacher.
It is. I can see Simon wants to say something about promoting something.
I just wanted to highlight that Mark obviously importantly mentioned that it's Carers Week next week, and Newham Carers community have a schedule of activities for all carers who can attend, and there's a range of activities from a violin performance from Callum Smart, who's won an award for Young Musician of the Year, hand massage, pamper days, a quiz, a fair, therapeutic gardening, and some keyring and badge making. So if any carers are interested in attending any of these sessions, they just need to get in touch, and I'll leave this schedule with you so you have the details as well.
I'll share it with all the presenters as well.
Thank you.
And where is there like a gathering happening physically in somewhere in the town hall or some area? Is there anything like that happening in Newham?
The sessions we have, they're in various locations. Some are in our offices. We've got a session at St Mark's Community Centre, East Ham Library, and Forest Gate Garden. So, and some are online as well. So obviously, carers that can't make it in person.
Forest Gate Garden, is that near Durning Hall? Is that the one, or?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I planted a plant there once. I've done it. We were based in Durning Hall, so I did that. I love gardening. Oh, that's excellent. Anything else you want to add in before we round up?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to add some.
Please,
just what Mark said, just coming off of that, is I see they got like a pamper session. And I think, you know, a lot of carers want respite care. They want a break. They want to have some relaxation, downtime. They feel they just can't do it because they're on the go 24/7. And it'd be nice to have something that they don't have to jump through so many hoops to fill in forms to say this is what they're entitled to. If something can be done where, you know, a simple massage service is catered for unpaid carers, maybe once a month, whether it's discounted or, you know, something that's free, you know, I don't know how it would all come about, but I think if the NCC are doing one-off things like that for Carers Week, they should try to incorporate it make it as part of an ongoing project if they can for carers, and I think carers will sort of appreciate it a lot more. To say, okay, this is just not a one-off event. Then what happens after that? I have to wait another year before Carers Week comes back.
Once a month is good.
I just feel like a lot of people these days are stressed, and you know, I'm stressed myself, and you got to put these things in place for yourself to keep your well-being in check and help you de-stress as well. So so that's what I wanted to add on. You know,
definitely that's very important, because, like you said, the carers do get carried away just looking after somebody, and they don't realise how it's affecting them mentally, physically. You do get exhausted. There's only so much you can do, you know, which is important. That's a good point. Anything else for Mark and Simon before we round up?
No. I just really, I suppose, the last point I would like to make, please, is just to all the people out there who we're reaching today, in terms of those who may not have seen themselves as a carer before, or for all the reasons we've discussed, you know, because of the stigma attached to that, as Simon has said, or maybe a cultural expectation that they need to keep going even when they're making themselves unwell. It's very much reaching out to those people to say, please, you know, think about your situation and reach out to the various groups we talked about today, and to your local authorities, wherever that may be. I'm in Newham, but I know we're reaching a wider audience. To have those initial discussions, and it might be that the person who's caring can receive support and advice about what's available to help them maintain their role. But also there'll be a discussion about whether they feel they can continue. But also it's thinking about the person they care for as well. So I just want to make that point, just to really encourage people to reach out.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to say to all of you, thank you very much. We've only got 30 seconds left, so thank you. We'll have to do another session. We'll have to do another session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, and have a wonderful day, and care away.
Thank you.
That's all I can say. That's fantastic. That's really, really good information. It's been really, really informative and enjoyable. We'll have this recording on air on our website as well. So brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next
so
week.
much. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Coming up next is the Punjabi program with Pargan.
Epstein. It's a far cry from last week's show of friendship in the Oval Office.
It's an honor to be with Elon, who's my friend, and he's done a fantastic job.
I expect to continue to provide advice whenever the president would like advice.
I hope so.
£100 billion was wiped off the value of Tesla's shares in a matter of hours. NHS patients are being promised new ambulances, mental health centres and an end to treatment in corridors. The government's announcing £450 million of investment in the health service in England. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage says coming third in the Hamilton, Larkhall and Stonehouse by-election marks a huge advance for the party. Labour were surprise winners of the Holyrood seat, taking it from the SNP. New MSP Davy Russell, who will represent the constituency, says this is proof Reform isn't connecting with Scottish voters.
This community has also sent a message to Farage and his mob tonight. The poison of Reform isn't us, it isn't Scotland, and we don't want your division here.
Bosses' bonuses are being banned at 6 water companies. Thames, Yorkshire, Anglian, Wessex, Southern and United Utilities will be prevented from making payouts over failed environmental standards. A charity is warning cancer patients are being priced out of holidays because of soaring travel insurance costs. Maggie's says some people are being quoted thousands of pounds. And Amazon says it's going to work harder to limit fake reviews. It's following an investigation by the competition watchdog. That's the latest. I'm Faye De Silva.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Man, I just want to tell you, this is the hottest station that I've ever listened to.
Radio streaming live around the world at newsoundradio.com.
You're listening to New Sound Radio on 92 FM.
New Sound Radio 92 FM. From the heart of East London, it's New Sound Radio 92 FM.
New Sound Radio 92 FM. Advertise on New Sound Radio. For further details, telephone 020 8472 9994.
It's the grand opening of RS Foods Cash and Carry with the blessings of Hasmukh Bhai Nagrecha and beloved late Vinu Bhai Nagrecha, founding members of Nagrecha Brothers Limited. Get the very best trade deals on leading brands like Suhana Masalas,
and get all your African, Asian foods and drinks at unbeatable prices. Join us at 204 to 206 Leighton Road, London E15. Visit our website for official opening date on www.rsfoods.online.co.uk or telephone 07404 192 801.
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਇਸ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਘਰ ਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਬਿਲਡਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਜ ਦਾ ਬਿਲਡਰ, ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪਊ।
ਉਹ ਮੈਡਮ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਕਰ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਲਿਮਿਟਿਡ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ new builds, flats, or grant works, a specialist in indoor and outdoor swimming pools, also council approved, और नाले काम दी पूरी गारंटी देंदे ने। आज ही शर्मा contractors ਨੂੰ phone ਕਰੋ। For the most competitive quotes, contact Pavan on 07533 440486. Are you struggling with a family member and cannot provide the care and help they need? At Caring Hands, we can help you look after your family member with the best support and care they need 24 hours a day. Our services range from cooking, cleaning, services like personal care, dementia care, learning and disability care, end-of-life care, palliative care in your own home. Caring Hands East London have been established since 2017 and are registered with the CQC. We provide personal service right across Ilford and East London. For further details and inquiries, please call Caring Hands East London Limited on 0208 478 0525. Caring Hands East London Limited, Imperial House, 41 York Road, Ilford, IG1 3AD. Telephone 0208 478 0525.
Our Roofing Limited, नए रूप से रिपेयर लई असी GRP waterproofing, slate roofs, felt roofs, UPVC fascias, lead work te complete waterproofing with specialist staff. Established experienced roofers, power roofing, lofts te extension da bhi kam kar dene. Appointment book karan lai hune hi call karo 07730798029. That is 07730798029. या कॉल करो 0207-998-6686. पावर रूफिंग फुल इंश्योर्ड है ते अपने काम दी गारंटी भी दिन देने। पावर रूफिंग काउंसिल तो अप्रूव्ड है।
Chigwell Window Centre. We specialise in UPVC and aluminium windows, doors, patios, composite doors, heritage doors, bifolds and slim bifolds. For all inquiries, call at Chigwell Window Centre 0208 500 4900. Huge discounts available. Special offer on bifold doors. Supply and fit for only £900 per pan. Terms and conditions apply. Visit one of our showrooms. Romford, 9 to 11 Chase Cross Road, Collier Road, Romford, RM5 3PJ. Loughton, 305 to 307 High Road, Loughton, IG10 1AH. Epsom, 1 Castle Parade, Ewell Bypass, Epsom, KT17 2PR. Colchester, Centurion Business Park, CO11 2NZ. For Brentwood, 4B Metcalfe Lane, Brentwood, Essex, CM14 5LR. Chigwell Window Centre.
बहन जी आता कमाल होगी, थोड़े घर का काम तो बहुत ही जल्दी मुक गया क्योंकि हमारा सारा बिल्डिंग मटेरियल H&S Builders Merchants ने सप्लाई किया था, जो सेम डे डिलीवरी करते हैं।
H&S Builders Merchants Limited, leading suppliers of timber, sand, cement, bricks, blocks, fencing, power tools, electrical, plumbing and all building materials. Call our Catherine Road branch on 0208 470 2740 or our Purfleet Yard on 01708 860 522. That's 01708 860 522. Builder ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ special discount.
UK Box Office brings you Good Man on his UK Tour 2025. Yaar Punjabi, performing live at OVO Wembley Arena, London on Sunday 13th of July. Book your tickets now at ukboxoffice.net.
doing an extension, doing a loft conversion, fed up of looking at expensive building material prices? Shop with Cymax instead, one of the leading timber and builders merchants in the area. Head over to our online store at cymax.com. That's SAIMAXX.com. Check prices and real-time stock availability, or visit our store in Raynham, Essex. Just plug RM138UH into your sat-nav. See you soon.
Cymax are currently recruiting HIAB lorry drivers and warehouse staff. For further details, telephone 0203 051 5171.
क्या खूब लगती हो, बड़ी सुंदर दिखती हो।
ये तो स्वागत ज्वेलर के गहनों का कमाल है, जो 16 सिंगार से भी बढ़कर है।
Swagat Jewelers been serving the community for over 20 years. Guaranteed hallmark gold.
Take advantage of Swagat Jewelers once a month special offer.
Swagat Jewelers are stockist of precious and semi-precious stones. We also make jewelry from your designs.
Special